Hello, guys, and welcome everybody to the Next Step show with me, Pavel Stepanov. And we're going to be talking about some major news in the real estate industry that happened this week. But before we do that, let's talk about hiring a virtual assistant. If you are, guys, looking to hire a virtual assistant for your small or medium-sized business and don't pay a lot of money for it, don't break the bank, and starting rates at only $8.60 an hour, you need to look only to Virtudesk. Virtudesk is a premier real estate virtual assistant for a real estate company, and you can go to myvirtudesk.com, and it's myvirtudesk.com. Okay, and so we got this out of the way. Our great sponsor, Virtudesk. Let's talk about it. So this week we've seen a flurry of news at Keller Williams. On Wednesday, yesterday, the company founder, Gary Keller, stepped down as the CEO of Keller Williams. So Gary will be taking on a new role as executive chairman of a newly formed holding company, KXW. And Carl Liebert is going to be the new CEO. So who is this guy, Carl Liebert? According to Inman News, Liebert served most recently as a CEO and president of AutoNation.com. It's a publicly traded company and the country's largest automotive retailer. So also Liebert is a 30-year veteran of a variety of industries with a wide array of experience. It looks like the guy was actually fired from AutoNation about 4 months ago. He was a CEO of AutoNation for only 4 months before he was let go from the company and given 3.75 million in severance pay. AutoNation executive chairman Mike Jackson said Liebert was not a good fit, according to the report from South Florida Sun Centennial. So this guy who worked at AutoNation, he was also working for Home Depot. He was working for the USA Insurance. Now he's going to be the CEO, the newest CEO of Keller Williams Realty for real estate. So also. This is one of the major news that happened. We'll see what the development is going to be, how this will change the company's culture, the company's face, so to say. This is not as you guys know, Keller Williams is not a publicly traded company, so we never know what's going to happen. But anyway, regardless, let's move to another more important news. Did you guys know that buyer's agency is now in jeopardy? Let me tell you that. For those who are not in a real estate industry, or those who are, let's say, not working with real estate agents, you may have an idea that whenever you look for an agent, you are essentially working. I mean, I'm sorry, when you're looking for to buy a house, you're going to be working with a buyer's agent, and buyer's agent is usually compensated by the seller. So let's say I want to go shop for a house, and my question would be, okay, do I need to have an agent? If I do have an agent, who's going to pay that agent? Do I pay the agent myself? I don't have the money to pay that. I only have enough money for the down payment. But usually the way it's set up in the industry, that seller pays both agents. Seller is his own agent and compensates buyer's agent's commission. So if you are actually um, you know a home buyer, you don't have to pay your own agent. Your agent is basically compensated by the seller's agent. They're gonna split the commission. So because of that, um, a lot of trial lawyers got a little bit greedy and decided to sue big companies such as Keller Williams, I believe, and more companies, and to try to basically claim that buyer's agent is something that should be paid by the buyer, and seller is not obligated to pay buyer's agent commission. So that kind of makes sense in an essence, because it's like when you hire a lawyer, you pay your own lawyer and the other side pays their own lawyer. So why should it be different with the real estate agents, where you are essentially working with your own agent, but somebody else paying for that? That's kind of doesn't make sense, right? So what happened was a bunch of people got lined up by by consumer protection lawyers or some sort, and they filed major lawsuit trying to eliminate the buyer's agency commission paid by the seller. So on last Friday, the and they actually sued the National Association of Realtors because they say this is some sort of a collusion or some sort of like a antitrust violation. So they sued National Association of Realtors and other big major real estate companies to for this, and the defendants filed a motion to dismiss the lawsuit, which the court denied on last Friday, and essentially allowed it to lawsuit to proceed. Um, in denying the motion, Judge Andrea Wood argued that the plaintiffs would have paid substantially lower commissions if not for the buyer broker commission rules. And the rules have created an artificial inflation of commission rates. So, quote, in some plaintiffs' allegations, plausibly show that the buyer broker commission rules prevent effective negotiation over commission rates and cause an artificial inflation of buyer broker commission rates in the markets served by the multiple listing services identified in the lawsuit complaint. Wood's ruling reads those plaintiffs' allegations are sufficient to survive dismissal under the rule of reason analysis. Let me explain it to you in plain English. Basically, the judge said uh, it must be decided by the jury if this indeed happened, because there's a plausibility to show that the rule violated some sort of antitrust agreement. And what's going to happen when this lawsuit started about a couple of years ago? A lot of real estate agents were panicking. Does this mean that there's going to be doom? There's going to be the real estate agents going to be losing a lot of money. The real estate agents going to be the buyers going to suffer. Is the consumer going to suffer? Because I mean, frankly, look at this from the perspective like, okay, if you're required to have everybody pay their own agent, and what about first-time homebuyers who do not have the money even sometimes for down payment, or closing fees? How are they going to come up with extra cash to pay their agent? So that pretty much like prices out first-time homebuyers, so people with not a lot of cash on their hand out of owning a house. So that rule would probably be something that eliminating that rule is not going to be serving the public so well, in my opinion. But the home sellers saying, well, why should we pay for somebody to represent somebody against us? That's like essentially paying the other side's lawyer to negotiate against us, and why we should, and we need to have a choice to pay the commission or don't pay the commission. And here's where I can also agree with the seller, because you know somebody, let's say, selling their own house, why should they give out their equity or their whatever equity they have in the house to pay to somebody that doesn't benefit them, essentially? Instead, they should just pocket this cash and keep it for themselves. However, buyer's agent may not bring the buyers if there's no compensation. Or, I mean, frankly, what it happens, it lowers and it narrows the pool of potential buyers who would come look at the property. And also, if the pool narrows, the demand is not quite there. That's going to affect the price, and if the price is affected, it's actually going to ultimately affect the value of the property. So I understand that trial lawyers want to get paid probably the first year in line, but in reality, trying to eliminate this rule would create a lot more chaos than actually serve better good. So, because as we know, all lawsuits must be brought up to serve better good. This would not, in my opinion, serve a better good, because people would be priced out, simply priced out. What about VA loan buyers, the veterans who are, let's say, utilizing their VA benefits and duly earned, and they need to be able to buy a house without any down payment, closing costs paid by the seller, and now you're asking, we're asking basically the people, those people who earn their benefits, to pay for realtors commission. That's not going to be effective unless mortgage industry comes up with a way to fix this by actually finance the commission part of it. So, but essentially, in that part, buyer will be paying for it, but will be financed through the loan proceeds. So Is that a good policy? To have this rule, you know, the this rule this rule on commission has been around for decades. That's the way real estate industry is embedded in this country, and that's how it works. But since I mentioned this country, there's no such rule in, let's say, Europe. When you hire an agent to help you buy a house, you pay for your own agent. Uh, Seller pays only certain commission to whoever agent brings the buyer. Okay, they don't pay the commission to somebody who's like a listing agent, but they pay the commission to the buyer's agent. That's the way it works in Europe, and we here in the United States we have a standard rule for commission, which is again right now trying to be eliminated, and some multiple listing services have already started to adopt new rules and ahead of anticipated ruling of the court. For example, in our market in Seattle area, and Northwest Multiple Listing Services, you can offer zero commission to the buyer's agent and just make proper disclosures. Also, the listing agent who offers zero commission to the buyer's agent presents the listing agreement to the seller that advises them that number one, buyer's agents are not obligated to show the property where no commission or low commission is offered, and that may potentially affect the the marketability. I'm sorry, not marketability, but potentially may affect the way the property will be sold, which means less buyers, and therefore the price may not reflect what people want. But again, we're in the age where I can see arguments being made from both sides. Actually, we're in the age where people are shopping for homes online, and there are different types of softwares, different types of apps where people can look for homes, contact the agent, and basically do all the work themselves, pretty much. But would it help the industry? Only time will show if it does. But I'm telling you that not a lot of agents are happy about this, and hopefully this lawsuit will die down. But again, it's probably going to take 5, 6, maybe 10 years for this lawsuit to you know to even materialize into something. So the lawsuit was filed back in 2019 on behalf of the seller Christopher M- Morrill as one of the two related lawsuits seeking class action status that alleged the sharing of commissions between the listing and buyer broker, referred to in the suit as the buyer broker commission rules. And that potentially violates, they say it violates Sherman Antitrust Act. So my take on this, only time will tell us what's going to happen. But for those who are in the real estate industry and are scared of what's going to happen or not happy with this, well, here's my suggestion to you guys. Start being more innovative. Start being more innovative. Start, first get it in your head that times change. And as times change, everything changes. Nothing's really in a permanent state. Try to adopt new rules or also try to be creative. That's where the innovation moves around, and let everything, be, changed up. So, also, if you guys have questions, you can go ahead and ask me in a comments section here. I'll be more than happy to answer. Looks like Sabrina says, great topic. Well, thank you, Sabrina. Rich Jacobson saying, what's up? But if you guys, want to talk about more, I'll be more than happy to discuss it with you guys in a DM or in this you know segment. However, all across the country, real estate is going to be changing. It will. Whether this lawsuit, materializes into something, into more of a permanent rule, or whether this lawsuit just goes away. And the reason why the reason why real estate industry will be changing is because of the I mean, couple things: technology and COVID. And COVID, and let me tell you why. Because of COVID, because the way real estate has been sold before the pandemic, it's an old way of selling it. And right now, things are changing, and the pandemic pushed people to change it to the new reality. So, whether you're in the sales of trench, if you're in the trenches of selling real estate, keep in mind that things are going to be changing. They already did. And adopt. Don't wait for times to go back to normal, because even if we, let's say, reopen completely, go back to normal, things will be different anyway. So learn to adapt, learn to operate in a new reality. And once you do that, consider real estate agencies that are actually ahead of the curve on this. One of those agencies is Nexus Realty in Seattle area, where if you are a real estate broker in Seattle area, you owe it to yourself to check out Nexus Realty, our sponsor. Nexus Realty is a 100% commission brokerage, and it's completely cloud based. So, which means you don't have to show up at the office. You don't have to be, present physically. Everything's done online. Even the discussions, even all office meetings, trainings, everything's done online, and you can keep 100% of your commission. So check out Nexus Realty. Um, it's nexusrealtyagent.com. Looks like we got a question from Sabrina. What is your view on our market going into the winter with COVID? Sabrina, I think the market's is going strong, and people do need to sell, and they are, and also need to buy. Interest rates actually helping a lot of people getting to the houses right now. So there's a perception that with the winter and COVID, that we're going to have more cases. However, since the pandemic started back in March, we have learned to work with COVID. We have learned to work in a new reality, and the way things are going to be working in the winter, I don't see much different than working right now. People are still buying, people are still selling, and interest rates actually helping us out. So we are going to be in a good shape, I think. That's my opinion, and you guys shouldn't freak out. I don't anticipate any lockdowns, to be honest with you, even though they say some maybe, some may not. I don't. But even if it happens, it happens. Just learn to work with it. And we were working during the lockdowns. Real estate profession is essential business, and it was fine. So, and also people will be moving. Regardless, people need to move because this is the way the way life works. So, um, if you guys are listening to the show, make sure to subscribe to our podcast, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Next Step Show. Make sure to follow us on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, and share it with your friends. And those of you who would like to be guest on my show, please send a DM, and we'll get you in. Well, we'll talk to you first. And if you are thinking about advertising your business on a podcast, feel free to reach out to me, and we'll get it happen. We'll get it done as well. For now, I'm gonna wrap it up. As always, guys, subscribe to our channel, and also, oh, we have a question from Tyler. Do you think this election is going to significantly affect our industry? I do not think that election is going to significantly affect our industry, as for the same reasons that COVID will not significantly affect our industry. The reason is election in the United States happens every 2 years, not four, every 2 years. We have midterm election. So if it did somehow affect our industry, it would have been affected a long time ago. Every 2 years, it doesn't happen. So I don't see that happening. There may be some adjustments, there may be some slight changes somewhere, but it's not going to significantly affect us. So we're gonna be fine. So keep on selling, guys. And as always, guys, feel free to share the video, feel free to subscribe, and Give me a shout out. Give me a shout out on Facebook. Give a shout out to the show to share it with your friends. Get more of your friends to follow our podcast anywhere you're listening to the podcast, and we'll talk to you later.